First of all, you see, our problem is this, as a physicist or as a chemist, we try and understand things which are not necessarily physical in terms of physical. So this is where we kind of get into complication. I did that myself. I was trying to understand the quantum by looking at two lumps of matter and how they're interconnected, and it doesn't work. It's a phenomenon that defies kind of very simplistic, materialistic vision. So same is true with regarding reincarnation. First of all, this idea that reincarnation is for real, as you already explored, Ian Stevenson's research, etc., it is genuine. There is definitely a link between two lives. So the only way it can be explained is, according to Ian Stevenson, is through the theory of reincarnation of the Hindus, as well as David Hume of the Scottish philosopher. So this is, if you like, the credential we have. It's been well researched by academics, intellectuals, genuine people who have no other axe to grind. So that is for real. Now the issue is this. What is the mechanism that allows one individual to leave one body and then re-enter another womb and start the journey? That is basically not a physical phenomena, otherwise we're in big trouble. Otherwise we can really block somebody leaving the body and kind of capture it and put it in a jar. It's not a physical phenomena. The thing that is living within is essentially metaphysical, not physical. The physical part is your external garment. But if I can use the computer lingo, the software that you possess, the thing that makes you tick and make sense of the world, have cognition, is essentially non-physical. Just like software you have in computer is non-physical, it's, squibbles. So in the same way, the metaphysical dimension that we possess does not have direct link, in the sense it cannot be captured through physical explanation. For example, you are suggesting whether it has to do with thermodynamic equilibrium. Okay. The only place where you can bring in a bit of thermodynamics in spiritual matters, including Hinduism, to simply say, one of the unique features about the creation we see is that entropy, disorder seems to be the name of the game. Everything goes from order to disorder. Living things are an exception. They seem to go from disorder to order. They kind of regular things. So this is the only thing I can say. It doesn't relate to reincarnation, but that's the only thing I can say about the thermodynamic equilibrium. So there is a special feature regarding all living things which allows us to go from disorder to order. This is the only thing I can suggest. Okay. Now the process of reincarnation, the metaphysical dimension, suppose I try every kind of intellectual gymnastic, physical physics, etc., or chemistry, we will fail, because it is said is metaphysical. So it cannot be captured through any physical explanation, through thermodynamics or whatever. Now how does a person leave one body and go into another? We have a metaphysical aspect of our being, and in fact the word metaphysics was invented to say not something woolly, but something greater than physical. That is what it literally means, meta, bigger than physical. So the metaphysical dimension we possess, which is our mental mode, our impressions that you have collected, stays in kind of a different world. It's not a physical world. So that is the part that has got a momentum of its own, and then when a body comes to an end, it has a habit of carrying on with this momentum that is generated. Same in Buddhism. They say the impression that you created will carry you forward to the next life. They call it rebirth, we call it reincarnation. So the momentum it has got, the mental momentum it has generated as an individual cannot be snuffed out. So that finds re-expression in another body. How does it find another body? I think about these things as well. I simply say there seems to be some kind of, in physics we use the word resonance. When there is some kind of, link between one individual and the circumstance that it kind of, relates to, then there is an automatic attraction for that living being to be drawn to that particular womb or that particular life form. That's all I can say. Suppose you say, Mr. Lakhani, exactly where is this equilibrium and where is this resonance and is it this sound? I can't, there's no physical way to explain it. That's a simple, simplistic way of saying it. You also asked something else. You asked loads of questions, but I just asked one or two. You also mentioned the fact that, look, two individuals try and enter the same womb. Look, it is highly unlikely, because I tell you how. According to me, I think about these things very carefully. At the time of conception, when the egg and the sperm meet up, at the time of conception, something magical happens, and the process called gastrulation in biology. So the cells start to interact, relate, and start dividing and subdividing and start producing an individual. I'm suggesting, this is my own personal take, the individual is now entering that particular womb, is now already dictating the shape, the form of the body. Of course, the genetic material will play a part. The individual is already dictating exactly what features the particular body will have, etc., because it's already now interacting with that gastrulation process and directing it. How do I know? Professor Stevenson. You see, for example, if somebody is shot or killed by a sword or something, and when is that person reborn, there's a birthmark at that particular point. Now, how did this birthmark start developing in the womb? Because the individual is already there saying, I've got a pain here, and that shows up as a birthmark in his own gastrulation process. This is the only way I can explain it.
Free e-learning course in Hinduism. To register, please visit www.hindu-academy.com.
Talks on Hinduism. Sponsored by People Care. Encouraging caring for the elderly in their own homes. For more information, please visit peoplecare.com.